everyone, today we're going to be making zucchini chocolate chip muffins and we're going to be learning about different kitchen tools. Now you guys have already used some of these kitchen tools, but we're just going to go over everything again before I start the demo. So here's measuring spoons. They come in a bunch of different sizes and we're going to use varying measurements for you guys. We have a dry measuring cup that we're going to use. This is going to be used for dry ingredients. We have our liquid measuring cup, which is going to be used for, you guessed it, liquids. We're also going to use a flat spatula to level off our dry ingredients, such as flour. We're going to be using a vegetable peeler to peel our zucchini. We're going to be using a grater to grate said zucchini. And we're also going to be using our KitchenAid today. If you look at your recipe, it's going to say that you guys are all going to prep bags on day one. So we're going to get the dry ingredients in bag one. That's going to be the flour, sugar, baking soda, cinnamon, and salt. So to start measuring the flour, we're going to need 3/4 of a cup. And what you want to do is use a dry measuring cup, spoon in your flour until it's heaping over the top. And then you're going to use your flat edge spatula to kind of tap down the flour and make sure there's no air pockets in there, like I just saw an air pocket. And then once there's no other air pockets, you're going to level it off so we have an accurate measurement, because baking is all about accurate measurements. So we'll put this in our dry ingredient bowl, which is going to be your bag. The next one we're going to add is 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons of white sugar. So we'll get our 4th cup out. We're going to use the flat edge spatula to make sure that that is also an accurate measurement. We're going to put that in the bowl as well. We're going to get 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda as well as 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Here's our 1/2 teaspoon. Make sure that the baking soda doesn't have any clumps in it. And we're also going to use our flat edge spatula to level off the baking soda. Alright, we'll add that in there, as well as the cinnamon. Same thing for this. And then our last dry ingredient is going to be a 1/4 teaspoon, which is going to say 1/4. And it's going to be the littlest teaspoon you have. And we're going to add salt. Make sure that's also leveled off, because you don't want to have salty muffins. And then you guys are going to combine that to make sure all the ingredients are evenly dispersed. Okay, so now we're going to start with our wet ingredients. We're going to start with 1 egg, and we're going to crack this into a bowl to make sure that we don't get any shells in our mixture. Your teacher might want you to crack the egg on the day of. However, for demonstration's sake, we are going to crack it right now. Make sure we throw that away. And then it says lightly beaten on the recipe. So what you can do is, when you have your shellless egg in here, take a fork and you're going to break the yolk so that it can easily mix together. And then you're just going to whisk it. Make sure that you don't whisk it too hard, otherwise you'll have egg flying over the side of your bowl. So we have a lightly beaten egg here. Everything's pretty mixed together. And now we are going to add to that, we're going to put this in our KitchenAid bowl. So we'll add this egg. And then to that we're going to add the vanilla and milk. So let's check how much milk we need. We need 2 tablespoons of milk. And although milk and vanilla are both liquids, measuring spoons are universal. So you can measure both liquids and dry ingredients. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of milk. There's 1. There's 2. Make sure that when you're measuring a liquid in a measuring spoon that you don't say, so here's some more milk. This is not a full measurement. You want to make sure that the milk is going to be all the way up but not overflowing. And then for the vanilla, we have 1/2 teaspoon. just measure that. We'll put that in there. And now I'm going to show you how to put the KitchenAid bowl into the KitchenAid. So see how on this bowl there's little things that look like they can fit, almost like a puzzle piece? You're going to fit the puzzle piece into here, and then you'll feel it tighten and stop when it's tight on here. Because if we have a bowl like this, when it starts mixing, it's just going to rattle all over. So you want to make sure it's very secure. Then what we're going to use, this is called a paddle attachment. See how there's a nook and cranny there? We are going to match this up just like a puzzle as well. Make sure like this, you push it in, and then you're going to twist it, because if not, it'll just fall right out. So you push up, you twist, and then you're golden. Okay, so now we're going to add our oil and our lemon juice to the rest of the wet ingredients. We're going to have a 1/4 cup of oil, and what you want to do when you measure using a liquid measuring cup is make sure that you get down to eye level to make sure that you have an accurate measurement. So we'll add that in. Then we're going to juice 1½ teaspoons of lemon juice. So what you want to do is split your lemon in half, squeeze and turn a fork inside of the lemon, and it will most likely be about a half a lemon. However, make sure you use your actual measuring spoons to measure that out. So we'll test it right now. If not, we can always use the second half of the lemon. So we need 1½ teaspoons. So we'll start with our 1 teaspoon. Make sure that is all the way to the top. And then we'll add our half, and it looks like we're gonna have enough, so we'll be good there. And so that's gonna be everything in your second bag. For bag 3, we only have 2 ingredients, and these are the ingredients we're going to fold into the zucchini muffins. So we're going to start with 1/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. We have mini ones here. And we're gonna just make sure that it's not heaping and it's not under the amount that we have. So we want a nice level measurement. We're gonna put that in. This is gonna be your 3rd bag. And then we're going to measure out 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of walnuts. So here's our 1/4 cup. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons. So make sure that it's not too heaping, like I said again. And we'll add that together. So this is going to be your 3rd bag. You can combine it up if you would like, but it's gonna get all mixed in anyways. Okay. So now we're going to peel and grate our zucchini. So how you wanna peel this is start at the top. Make sure you have a nice sturdy base down here and that your fingers are also not going to slip, and make sure they're out of the way. Your teacher's going to have you do this on the day that you're actually baking the muffins. All right, so we'll get that all peeled. And you guys are going to need a 1/2 cup of zucchini. Whoops, we're slipping. So gotta make sure you have that sturdy base. So you're going to get a 1/2 cup. And then you're just gonna want at the end, so you don't have to chop the bottom off, you're just gonna peel all around that. Then what you can do is take your grater and actually put it in your bowl. Make sure again that you have a nice sturdy base and that you're holding this down pretty tight. Then you're gonna take your zucchini and just carefully grate. So see how my pinky finger is getting really close? We don't want that. You wanna try to keep your fingers as far away as possible, but you also still want to have a steady grip on the zucchini. All right. So you want to get as far down, but you don't want to jeopardize your fingers. So we're just going to end here. We'll see how far we've come, and it looks like we do have about a 1/2 cup here. You guys are going to use your estimation skills and kind of measure with your eyes, but then what you can do is take your 1/2 cup. You don't want to pack it down too hard, but you want to make sure that there's no big air bubbles in there. And then we're going to have our zucchini all measured out for you. Okay, so on the day of baking these muffins, we already have our wet ingredients in the KitchenAid. So what you can do is with the head of the KitchenAid, just make sure that it is down. And we want to lock the KitchenAid so nothing goes all over. And then you want to always start out on a low speed. So we don't want to go all the way up to 10. We just want to stir right now to combine these wet ingredients. And then once those are combined, we are going to start slowly adding our dry ingredients. So what you can do is do this in thirds. Make sure you unlock the KitchenAid, tilt the head back up. We'll add, since it's such a small recipe, we'll do it in halves actually. So we'll start this, and the reason I'm doing that is so we won't get a big poof of flour ingredients. And like I said, like I just did. So you want to stir that up until it's just combined. Then you're gonna add the rest. Just on the stir setting until that's all incorporated. And if you come over here and look, it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of ingredients on the sides. So you wanna take a rubber scraper or a rubber spatula. You can take this off, make sure that that's all incorporated into there. Get everything off. And then what you're gonna wanna do is unhook the bowl and take your rubber scraper around the sides so you really get everything mixed in there. See how that's nice and evenly mixed now? There's really no flour left over. The same thing goes with the bottom of the bowl. Sometimes flour will get stuck there. Just make sure that there's none there. So we'll take our chocolate chips and walnuts and we'll just add them all right now. And then we'll take our zucchini, plop that in there. And then this technique is called folding. So what you're gonna wanna do is take this rubber scraper and you just turn over the ingredients. And this is gonna make it so the ingredients just nicely incorporate. It also incorporates air into the mixture. And what we're gonna do is take the portion scooper, scrape it on the side of the bowl to make sure that we get even portions for each muffin tin. So we're gonna wanna fill them about half of the way up. So this is a perfect scoop actually. Same thing. And then to release the batter, you just press this button and you're good to go. So we'll just do that. So once you have one scoop in each, what you're going to want to do with these is take your muffin tin and then tap them down. And it looks like over here, I don't have enough batter in here. So they're going to bake unevenly. So you want to make sure that it's filled to your halfway point and that every single one is uniform. So this one as well needs a little bit. And we'll throw a little bit more in this one. So you're gonna make sure that your oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Then you're gonna open it up, put these in, and make sure you set your timer. I would start with about 15 minutes for these, but you're going to keep checking them until a toothpick inserted inside of them comes out clean. Okay, so I know I said to check the muffins at 15 minutes. However, it's only been about 10 minutes, and since this is a convection oven, they've already finished up. So we'll take them out of the oven. They should look like this when they're finished, and voila,